Hey students, this is Mr. Moore, and this is the final topic for Unit 1, the Renaissance and Exploration, 1450 to 1648. Topic 1.11 covers causation in the Renaissance and the Age of Discovery. And I think this is a great time to help my students remember that when we're talking about this history class and this AP European history, that it's not just about memorizing facts and being able to recall names, but you also have to have a skill set and your ability to take these concepts and help apply them to the real world. So I have created an AP Euro resource webpage. It's a webpage that I designed to bring together all of the resources I could find to piece together so that people understood what they need to know and also the skills that they'll be tested on the AP test. So in a video series, I'm going to cover a review session with the key concepts for all the different units. There's a total of 9 units that are a part of these 4 periods. And if you want to go to my website and slow this down and take a look at it, that'd be great. I've been using this outline was given to me by the College Board, and I'm using it to help walk through the different content. These videos are not designed to be entertaining, but academically useful. And so this Unit 1 is on the Renaissance and Exploration. This is what it actually looked like. This is a PDF if you want to see what it looked like when it came from the College Board. This is a little bit easier to read and follow, also with some commentary by myself to help students as they study for the AP history test at the end of the year. This is also a place where I've posted the overarching themes and the historical thinking skills that are required for students as they prep for the AP test. At the end of this unit here today, it's good to probably review the thematic focuses that come up in this unit. They're the same in every single unit, whether it's Unit 1 on the Renaissance and Exploration or Unit 8 on global conflicts like World War I and World War II. The thematic focuses don't change. We're still talking about geography and economics and cultural and religious developments, government, social structures, national identity, and how technology and science change over time. Those don't ever change. And neither do the historic thinking skills. These are the things that an AP history student has to master if they want to be able to demonstrate well on the AP test. Understanding the development and processes, sources and citing, whether it's a primary source or a secondary source, being able to make a claim and provide evidence, or if you're given evidence, be able to use that evidence effectively, and also to be able to contextualize things. Take a concept, put it into context. Number 5 right here, those making connections and historical reasoning processes. That's why I'm bringing this up, because a student needs to understand how to compare and contrast things in history and how to show cause and effect, or to show the continuity and change that happens over time, and then be able to develop an argument and have that make sense. I bring that up because as we get into this last unit right here where it says causation in the Renaissance and the Age of Discovery, causation, cause and effect, seeing how the Renaissance leads to an age of discovery, and seeing how the Renaissance opens the gates to the next unit of Reformation, seeing those things that caused the Renaissance to come about in the first place. So cause and effect is a major topic to understand, and this first learning objective is quite clear. It says explain the causes and consequences of the Renaissance and the Age of Discovery. If you've been following this series and studying this class, you should be able to address a lot of this right here. So this brief review as we close off Unit 1 here. This first bullet point says that rediscovery of works of ancient Greece and Rome and observation of the natural world changed many Europeans' views of their world. A revival of classic text led to new methods of scholarship and new values in both society and religion. Again, kind of showing you how the Renaissance is going to directly lead to the scientific revolution. The Renaissance is going to directly lead to a reformation in Christianity. This Renaissance is directly going to challenge people and how they see their world, and they're going to go out and explore it, and it's going to shape the modern world that we live in. The visual arts incorporated the new ideas of the Renaissance and were used to promote personal, political, and religious goals. Again, I'll make note that I have an entire presentation on artistic movements, going over things that happened before the Renaissance and, of course, early Renaissance into the high Renaissance. And even at the end of the Renaissance, we're going to get into things like mannerism, which is coming up here. So if you want to get in, that's part of the Renaissance, but also starts to diverge as we get into abstract art and those kind of things in the Northern Renaissance. These are all topics that would be covered in this first time period of the Renaissance. Okay, so again, that can be found on my website, European Art History Lesson. If you clicked on the 10th grade AP Euro page, that's where you'd find that changes in the visual arts. So I wanted to make sure that was clear. Europeans explored and settled overseas territories, encountering and interacting with indigenous populations. Right? We talked a lot about how Europeans come into conflict and contact with Native Americans, Africans, how they take over Native American lands, destroyed Native American civilizations, and incorporated the transatlantic slave movement. So that's going to definitely be a major piece of that. European nations were driven by commercial and religious motives to explore overseas territories and establish colonies. God, gold, and glory, right? European societies and the experiences of everyday life were increasingly shaped by commercial and agricultural capitalism, notwithstanding the continued existence of medieval social and economic structures. So in this entire unit, we're laying the foundation for the modern world. When a history teacher talks about the modern world, they always start with the Renaissance, because it lays the foundation of the later Enlightenment. And the Enlightenment, the United States is born out of the Enlightenment, right? And so we're going to see the foundation of everything laid in this first unit. Economic change produced new social patterns, while traditions of hierarchy and status continued. Most Europeans derived their livelihood from agriculture and oriented their lives around the seasons, the village or the manor, although economic changes began to alter rural production and power. The struggle for sovereignty within and among states resulted in varying degrees of political centralization. The new concept of a sovereign state and the secular system of law played a central role in the creation of new political institutions. That is really just a culmination. But I want you as a student to remember those skills, to understand comparing and contrasting ideas, to show cause and effect, and to make a connection, showing that continuity and change over time. And that will conclude our review session of Unit 1 on the Renaissance and Exploration. Thanks for joining me.